And what about the requirement for Telstra to be structurally separated if that occurs? You ran Telstra for a long time. Would that destroy value in Telstra if it was to be structurally separated?
Look, my thinking and my strategy had always been to resist structural separation for Telstra because that was not a good outcome for Telstra and its shareholders. But with the passage of time and where positions have landed at the moment, the separation of the physical assets or physical telephony assets from Telstra seems inevitable. And certainly if you vend in the physical infrastructure into a national broadband network, that implies structural separation. So I think we're on that path. I think one of the legacies of the, clumsy regulatory strategy of recent years has left Telstra in a diminished position with respect to the future ownership of its assets. On the other hand, there is a view that the telephony assets are of reducing value, given the technical developments in the industry, particularly in wireless. And so an early agreement with the government and the NBN group may well be in Telstra's interests.
Can you elaborate on the clumsy regulatory strategy?
Well, it's clear that with the arrival of Sol Trujillo and his team, the board and the management of Telstra decided to move in a different direction with respect to their attitude to the regulatory intervention that had been increasing over the years, perhaps predictably. And so they embarked on an aggressive approach to both the government and the regulator in resisting not only further regulatory impositions, but in fact reversing that. And it was a very public campaign, and it was a campaign that brought to the battle the predictable weapons of threats of capital starvation, job losses, endless litigation. It was a legitimate strategy, but it was a high-risk strategy, and it did not work. And along the way, Telstra has suffered, I think, considerable reputational damage because of the very public nature of the disputes. So I think that the last few years will be judged to, the key takeout for the last few years will be the ineptness of the regulatory and political strategy of the company.